For you. We're going to call the meeting to order here. I want to be cognizant of people's time. It's 9 a.m. And so I'd like to start the meeting of the Board of Trustees on this December 23rd, 1995, this special board meeting. Ms. Cummins Martin, would you poll the board and take the roll, please?
Yes, sir. A pleasant good morning, Mr. Chair, President Johnson, and trustees. Trustee Brown.
Present.
Trustee Bryant.
Present.
Trustee Crossman. Trustee Crossman. Trustee Dobson Rodriguez. Trustee Dobson Rodriguez. Trustee Figures. Trustee Figures. Trustee Dobson Rodriguez, I think I just saw you join.
Yes, present.
Thank you. Trustee Gainey.
Here.
Trustee Gibbons.
Here.
Trustee Harper.
Here.
Trustee Perry.
Here.
Trustee Reed.
Present.
Trustee Vasquez. Trustee Vasquez. Trustee Washington. Trustee White.
Present.
Could I note that Trustee Crossman also joined?
Thank you, Ms. Kim. Mr. Chair, you have a quorum.
Thank you. Ms. Cummins Martin, do we have any public speakers?
Mr. Chair, we do not have requests for public speaking this morning.
Seeing none, I'll move past that. Thank you all for being on this call. The only agenda item before us today is the approval of the employment contract for the new head football coach, Quinn Gray. Before we proceed, I need a motion to suspend our operating procedures pursuant to the section 7.3. Our section 7.3 of the operating procedures provides that any provision of these operating procedures must be suspended in connection with the consideration of the matter before the board by an affirmative vote of not less than 2/3 of the trustees then serving. May I have a motion to suspend the operating procedures following for the following purposes? One, to permit the board to consider and approve the head football coach employment contract at today's meeting, and to authorize the head football coach to hire assistant coaches with the president's approval.
So move.
Second, Trustee Perry.
Thank you. It's been properly moved and second. Do we have any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of motion to suspend the operating procedures, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. We will now proceed to the approval of the head football coach employment contract. President Johnson, you're recognized to present the contract.
She has issues joining. I'm trying to get her on now.
Okay, Ms. Suggs is on. Ms. Suggs, you want to present until she can get on? I don't want to hold people up on 2 days before Christmas.
Good morning. Thank you, Mr. Chair. Good morning, everyone. You have received a draft agreement for Quinn Gray, the proposed candidate for head football coach. Quinn Gray is FAMU's all-time leader in passing yards and completions and touchdowns, records that still stand more than 2 decades later. 4 consecutive NCAA playoff teams, MEAC Hall of Fame, and the like. Beyond the statistics, Quinn Gray's ties to this institution run deep. His wife, Mrs. Shamika Gray, is a FAMU DRS and FAMU graduate. Their daughter recently graduated from this illustrious university. He knows Florida recruiting, and Florida recruits know him, and he has the respect of the fan base. This is a 5-year agreement, and the base salary begins at $240,000, $10,000 less than our previous head coach, and escalates to $320,000 by year 5. On behalf of Madam President, she would like to thank the FAMU Foundation Board for their support in making this investment possible. In the spirit of excellence with caring, Madam President and the team looks forward to locking arms with the FAMU Foundation, the FAMU National Alumni Association, the Rattler Boosters, and our grassroots support organizations, along with alums. And so, Mr. Chair, we would like to present this agreement for approval. Thank you.
Thank you. If the president gets on, she can make some comments as well.
I was on 10 minutes before the call started. Can you hear me now?
We can hear you.
All right, perfect.
Ms. Suggs did an excellent job with the report. If you have any more to add, that's fine.
No, I don't have anything more to add. I heard it.
You sure?
No, she did a great job.
All right. Okay.
Thank you, Ms. Suggs.
Thank you, Madam President.
Board members, do we have any questions of the president or either Ms. Suggs related to this employment agreement? I guess not. So I guess we're looking for a motion to accept the employment agreement of Mr. Quinn Gray as the next football coach of the Florida Agricultural Mechanical University football team.
So moved. Yeah, Gibbons, I move that we approve the contracts.
It's been moved by Mr. Trustee Perry, second by Trustee Harper. And since it's been properly moved in second, all signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? Thank you all for today. I want you all to have a very, very happy holiday season and look forward to seeing you all soon after the holidays. Madam President, congratulations on your new coach and our new coach. And I hope that, he is very successful. We're looking forward to football season. Quinn comes highly recommended, and I think that he'll do an excellent job as the next coach at FAMU. So do you have any other comments from any other board members?
Yes.
Madam Chair, you recognize?
Thank you. I do think it's appropriate to acknowledge the 10 years of service that Trustee Reed has provided to this board. This will be his last meeting prior to transitioning and the term expiration. So I think it's appropriate as trustees and the administration to recognize his service.
Here.
Yeah, Trustee Reed, we recognize your service and we thank you for it. I was actually going to bring you back and do that at the next board meeting so that we can properly recognize you. And we still will do that to you and any other trustees. All of you should be recognized for the service that you've given. You, Trustee Harper, Trustee Perry, and all of the things that you've done to help this university move forward. I won't say farewell because I know that you will do what you have always done, which is help FAMU move forward and be a positive impact in helping this board as well as the university move in the direction that it needs to move in. So thank you, Trustee Reed, but also to Harper and Perry as well. Thank you. Any other board members like to make any comments?
Well. Short and sweet. FAMU has a new coach. Good morning, everybody. Hey, man, you know who it is. Happy holidays, everybody. It is your favorite. Hey, man, listen, we done did a lot of these. This is a good sign because I'm telling you something. You guys have known we've streamed these before. Boy, we done went a couple of hours. So, you know, it is really, really, really good. Hey, listen, I'm going to say something. And we got to give credit where credit is due because, you know, and President Johnson, of course, came in with a lot of, I guess people had concerns and things like that. But I will give her credit for this. And I will say this, I think this has a lot to do with her legal background. That contract is tight. And I'll tell you another thing, I work with a lot of lawyers. This is one of the things, part of my job. I work with a lot of lawyers. And I will say this, lawyers have very good discernment about getting stuff done because they get paid by the hour and they don't like to waste time. And I think she understood the assignment. She understood that keeping Angela Suggs on was very important. And I got to give her credit for that because there was a lot of things swirling in the FAMU nation about, hey, let go of this person and get this person. And I think, there was a situation where we've seen it before, 18-person committees, subcommittees, backdoor hookups, and things like that. But I got to give her credit and got to give Special Assistant Suggs credit. They found a coach that they feel and deem that's important for FAMU, that's going to lead FAMU back to prominence. And, I got to give them a lot of credit. I got to give them a lot of credit. Yeah, Paris, I'll tell you what. Here's the thing. People are saying, what is he making and things like that. But you got to understand something. There's a structure in his contract that actually pays him more. So first things first, he's getting a $25,000 signing bonus, which automatically puts him more than Colzie. He's also, and I think this is the most important thing, we have a $1.2 million coaching pool. And you've seen some things out there, and I won't say it. You've seen some things out there about the level of coaches that Coach Quinn Gray is going to bring. And I'm telling you, this staff is going to be fire. And I'm talking about people that can go recruit, people that understand Florida A&M University, and people know what the dark side defense means, which is the most important thing to win championships. I think the offense is going to be incredible because Coach Gray, like I say, comes from that Billy Joe tree, understands offense. So you're talking about great coaching. And I'll tell you another thing, too, which was kind of hidden in their contract. They are getting money for coaching training that will allow the coaches to go to these various camps to improve their skills. I think that is a great thing. So to look at this contract and the people understand it, people say, oh, 5-year contract and things like that. Southern, and like I said, nothing wrong with Southern. Southern is paying $1.2 million for Marshall Faulk for 3 years. We're getting Quinn Gray that for 5. And we're talking about a coach who actually has won a championship and D2 HBCU national championship and went to the playoffs and battled with his 4th-string quarterback. So when you look at it and then you look at the way this contract, and like I say, when you're dealing with lawyers, the way it's a fair contract on both sides. It's a very fair contract for Coach Gray, and I think he's able to grow in that contract. And I think if he outperforms that contract, I believe in year 3, if he's brought home Celebration Bowl championship, which we believe Coach will do, and that staff, then if they need to renegotiate it, they'll do that. But it also gives him time and also not be worried about the people in the background, talking about who's the next coach. And I think for Florida A&M, there's some things that I know he's got to work on for us dealing with the APR, getting players to come in. And I think for everybody, not everybody can just, exhale. We've had a situation. We went from national championships to basically going under 500 with Coach Colzie. And like I say, again, I think Coach Colzie did as best he could. And like I say, Coach Colzie was a really nice guy. And I know he had FAMU's best interest at heart. It just didn't work out. But that doesn't mean he won't get another opportunity. For him. But I'm going to tell you this. I'm super excited. I know the people that they talk to, and I'll tell you this. The best thing that they did was hire Coach Quinn Gray. There's no doubt about it. And like I say, for the fact, and again, for President Johnson, who again, is not part of this culture, who came in and clearly listened and got great advisement from several people about what she was looking for, what the school was looking for as a coach. I think she could have made a better hire. So I hope this bodes well, for her to collaborate. I hope this moves over to the academic side and to the alumni side, because collaboration is the key for FAMU. Of course, we've had a lot of things in the news, the 237, the this, the that. But I think when you have great people at FAMU, which we do, collaboration is the key going forward. I really, really believe that. So I hope this is the first step of going into 2026 in a positive manner. I know that, again, AD Suggs, special assistant to the president, Angela Suggs, I think she has done a wonderful job, just hit the ground running on a position that wasn't even a position that she's now made her own. I think you're going to see, again, we're going to bring in a new AD. I hope he brings in a lot of energy. I hope he brings in a different point of view. I'm going to, like I say, hold judgment. Like I say, he's not there yet. Shout out from AD intern Mike Smith, who held it down, kept everything going. So again, I really look for when that portal starts jumping, I think FAMU is going to be right there in the mix. I think FAMU is going to be right there in the mix to get a lot of great players. We're going to see a lot of great things. And I'm going to tell you this, guys, FAMU ain't done. They got a couple of more bombs that they're going to drop. And I'm talking about some big bombs. The coaching thing is just one thing. It's a couple of things that they're doing. And I tell you what, there's a couple of things that I just want to talk about when you're looking at this contract. And again, one thing, I'm not saying other schools are not doing this, but the fact that we're making a commitment directly to NIL, I think that is a great thing. I know some things what they're doing to fund that. I know I'll let them make those announcements when they talk about how that's going to be funded. But the fact that that's going to be part of the forefront, because, hey, we're in a new era now with NIL. And the fact they're acknowledging that, I think that is great. Hey, I just saw somebody talk about this. And then Mick done read the contract. Shout out to Mick. Shout out to Prairie View folks, SWAC champions, summer school. And people know this, to build a program is built in the summer. That is a big deal. And like I said, for those kids to be able to, help take class during the summer, but also be able to work out, not have to worry about getting a job, being able to focus on school, because, again, that's the thing about we want our kids to graduate from a great university like Florida A&M, but also this allows team building. This allows them to get in that weight room, to get stronger. I think that is incredible. So, again, this was something that was well thought out. And I think what happened is, again, shout out to the whole organization that looked at some of the deficits that FAMU had, as far as with the football team, and then said, let's address some of those things. And I really like that they looked at the summer school thing, because that was some of the things that was a complaint about what was going on with summer school. And a lot of the kids, want to graduate, want to work hard, and, to get that. So I think that is just really, really great, So, again, investing in staff, summer school. And now, like I say, again, we got, hey, now you're going to see the boosters come behind this coach. I can't wait till he goes in front of the 220 club and they say, Coach, what kind of team you going to build? And he brings out agile, mobile, and hostile. I think folks are going to go crazy. So I think folks are going to go crazy. So, again, Rich said we got NIL money. Hey, man, listen, when you put a plan together, you can get money. That's the one thing about Florida A&M. I always find it is amazing when a plan is put together, you can get money. And I think this is one of the things that I think President Johnson, one of the things that I like when President Johnson went to Georgetown, actually went to Georgetown with like my sister. So I know the Georgetown culture. And when you come to a HBCU, and I think her just going to the games and traveling to other campuses, for football games, I think she really understood, wow, this is really important. This is really important. And once again, for FAMU football, you're talking about alumni, fans, friends, spending money at the games, donating money to the school, donating money to the athletics. Well, you know what? You donate a lot of money when you got a championship team, when you got a coach that people believe in. Reese, you said, what are realistic expectations for year one? Listen, I'm going to say this. I'm not looking for Coach Quinn to do what Tremaine Jackson, which was a tremendous job. I think what he needs to do is just start simple. The games that are FAMU are favored, which will probably be the same games from last year, win those games. So if there's a Howard on the schedule, we were favored. Should have won that game. We were favored against Mississippi Valley. We should have won that game. I believe Coach Quinn Gray wins those games. Bethune-Cookman game, hey, he knows what it is about the Florida Classic. You win those games. So then what you do is then the tough games, that's when you start to see the great coaching and the coach staff that you're building. And then we see what happens. You know, the Jackson States, the Alabama States, you know, North Carolina Centrals and things like that. Those teams are still going to be really good. But again, I think as you guys have seen, we've seen with Deshaun Jackson. We've seen with Tremaine Jackson. Things can flip really quick. Things can flip really quick. So you're talking about a quality coach that understands the lay of the land, that's going to have a dynamic offense with that dark cloud defense. Because I'm going to tell you something, people want to come to FAMU. It is no doubt about it. When that portal opens and you see the level of kids that's going to come and the kids that he's going to keep, I think there is no doubt about it. So, I think, again, it kind of poetic justice that through all the trials and tribulations, special assistant to the president, A.D. Suggs, was the one that opened up the comments. And then President Johnson coming back and saying, you know what? I think she said everything, and I think there's nothing else need to be said. And sometimes a good leader knows when to say a lot or when to say a little. And I think this was a perfect match of both. And I'll say this too. Got to give hey, man, listen, I'm going to say this again. We've had this when we had the last coaching search. These things went for a long time, and people didn't like the coach and who should be the coach and all that. It was very clear that there was a discussion on who the candidates were with the board. There was buy-in from the board. I'm sure there was buy-in from the boosters, 220 Club, those people that are down there in Tallahassee that are working every day, the Vaughn Wilsons and people like that, the Selwyn Cobbs. So I just really, really think that everybody got on page, because I think also too, people did not want to, and again, FAMU is such a great university. And when you have that title of #1 public HBCU, you don't want to keep tripping over your own shoestrings. And we've done that, unfortunately, in the last couple of years. And people make jokes about it, and other schools get to laugh about it and things like that. And as a person that went to Florida A&M, you don't want that. You want it to be just like this, because precision with a sharp knife, cut it, and let's make it happen. So, so I think that's really, really, now, hey, listen, this right here is FAMU country. And that, with some of the coaches that he's bringing on, and again, I'm not going to name those names. I'm going to let Coach Gray, when he's ready to announce it, or Scotty wants to leak it or whatever, which he does a great job of, doing that. But I'm going to tell you this, the coaches he recruit know where those counties are at, know the coaches in those counties. And I'm going to tell you something. You can't get no better than Florida talent. You can't, when you get Florida talent, and I like to say Florida fast, them brothers, them dark-skinned brothers with them dreads that go get it, as you kind of saw the University of Miami going down to Texas A&M and had to whoop them Texas boys. See, all them cousins, all them brothers. So that's what FAMU is built. FAMU, Miami, Florida, Florida State. That football Florida fast. So that's the thing about that I'm excited to see, especially on the defensive side. That's the thing about it, because FAMU offense started going, but unfortunately defense failed us. So now I think with the person I think is going to be the DC, who's from Florida, who understands, in the great words of Howard Snellberg, the state of Miami, from West Palm Beach on down, get those boys from Orlando, get those kids from Tallahassee. Hey, man, and you see what's behind me. When you get that, you get these. There's no doubt about it. So, again, I'm hoping that they open up that pipeline to Atlanta, because there's a lot of talent, a lot of kids from Atlanta want to come to FAMU. Shout out to Jack State. Jack State didn't open up that pipeline. So, FAMU should be right there in the mix for any of those kids that want to go to HBCU. So, I think that is really, really, really interesting on what we've seen. And I want to say, too, about a contract. As somebody who works on a lot of contracts, this is not one of those gotcha contracts. This is one of those contracts. Again, I'm going to keep saying this. That's a fair contract. That's very well written. It was funny. They had a draft, which is said draft. People were like, oh, they spelled the name wrong. Hey, man, lawyers, relax. That's why it's called a draft. But I tell you one thing, the one that Quinn Gray signed had his name spelled right. I guarantee you that. So those are the things that, I think for us and for people, that love HBCUs, because, man, I'm going to tell you something. I'm going to say this again. For the SWAC to be good, I want every school to be good. I want Jackson State to be good. I want Southern to be good. I want Grambling to be good. I want FAMU to be good. I want Alabama State to be good. Prairie View, Alcorn, because we want every game to literally be like the SWAC championship game and the Celebration Bowl. Because when you have games like that, more people watch. When you raise the talent level, which I think now people are starting to understand how to recruit this portal. We've been doing it for a while. Get kids that have produced. Get kids from a lower level that have skills. Get high school kids that are all state type kids that want to be at your program. That's where we need to start building these programs. So, of course, that first year, you're probably going to get a lot of kids out the portal. But what I'm excited about is the freshmen that he's going to recruit that's going to want to be Rattlers, because there's a difference between playing football for FAMU and being a Rattler. That's the really big thing. So, that's the thing about it. Looking at the chat real quick, we're not going to be on here too long. We'll probably come back and do another show. So, Mick saying what he's saying. It's kind of being nice, but not saying I see the Snakes competing for the East this year. Yeah, hey man, listen, hey bro, listen. Oh, listen, we gonna be there. We're gonna be there. We're gonna be there. Hey Stan, I tell you what, I know a couple of the parents on the team. I think they're excited. I think everybody's rolling in the same direction. I think that when you have a Coach Gray, and I think kids also know this. They see this man being successful right down the road. They played against his team. And they know how hard that Albany State, they gave us utter hell in that game. And I think kids respect game, as they say. Game, no game. So I think the kids that want to be champions, they'll stay. They'll prove to Coach Gray that they need to be on the team. And no, they won't. We know how it works. You saw with my boy Tremaine Jackson. Hey, man, listen. This ain't the same old Prairie View. And they showed that this year because he had a mentality of the certain players that he wanted. Now, there were players that stayed and there were players that was gone. It was players that he brought in through the portal that he had to get rid of. So I think that is very, very important. And yes, Paris, he did play. And I'm going to say this, he played on teams that won playoff games. See, that's why I'm different about FAMU. See, we won playoff games. So we understand what all of that means. With Billy Joe and that crew. Because that crew was serious. So, I think, again, when you're looking at the SWAC and now the coaching levels are starting to, Eddie Robinson, my guy, my class of 88 guy at Alabama State. Hey, man, listen, people talking about Sam Shade had a rough one, man. Listen, I'm trying to tell you something. Sam Shade can coach. But trust me, Alabama A&M will have a winning record next year. Trust me on that. Coach Woody down in Bethune-Cookman. Like, they might have got it going on. My boy T-Buck. Listen, they're going to be hitting that portal hard. I think they got a formula where they're going to try to work those JUCOs and get guys in there. T.C. Taylor, my guy, can coach. Lorenzo Quinn is defensive coordinator, who should be a coach, can coach. Hey, man, listen, we're going to see what Marshall Falk does down in Southern. But I'll tell you one thing about Marshall Falk. He's a very, as T-Buck say, football intelligence. He is FBI. And I think he's going to work that thing down in Southern. And we already know about my boy T. Jack missing no recess. Chris Dishman. Hey, listen, they will play away from beating Prairie View very first game. I know that still stings. Hey, listen, stop. Hey, listen, yo, DC, listen. We got to get that man a job, man. Y'all can promote somebody else. Lorenzo Quinn, that's a dog right there. That's a dog right there. So, these are things that I think all of us need to be looking at, what we're talking about. And I'm going to say this. Thank you, Madam President, and Special Assistant. I'm like Mary Jane. No more drama. No more drama. Let's all get on the same page. Let's make sure all the I's are dotted and T's are crossed. Let's use the same momentum for hiring a coach. to move it on the academic side so FAMU Nation can get behind the school. Because I'm going to say this again, and I think this is important. Sometimes we talk about people we don't know. And I try not to do that. I think this is a great time for Madam President to let people know who she is. I think this choice is the first step. I look forward to her doing this on the academic side and working with the state of Florida. President, go get our money. Negotiate. Go get our money. We got your back on that. You go get our money. Trust me. And however you got to do it, make it happen. Get a good contract. But I like, again, the board of trustees. And again, didn't waste nobody's time, man. It's Christmas time, man. We ain't got to be on here dissecting this contract because you don't have to dissect the contract when it's written well. Trust me on that. I write a lot of contracts, do a lot of contracts. When it's written well, both lawyers say, you know what? We good. When it's written bad, that's when everybody got to get the red pen out. For real. So, that's what, really what we're looking at. I'm just going to look at some of the comments in the chat, not going to be on here too long, stuff like that. Let's see here. What is this right here? Wouldn't be surprised, especially in interim. 80 Smith took input and excellent views from Coach Simmons and Colzie. Yeah. I think, you know what? But I'm going to tell you what, that's what lawyers do. I think a lot of people need to understand. Most lawyers build contracts off of previous contracts. And then what you just said, hey, you know what? Here it is. We need to protect ourselves from this, or we need to add this. So now I think that's a great analysis on that. Let's see here. Who we got here? NC will be interested to see who get out the portal. Hopefully we'll be able to get. Listen, right here, got to get Haley back. Got to get him and Wilshire back. Because I think in this offense, they can do something big. So, hey, Jamal Haley, Wilshire, hey, listen, I'm trying to tell y'all can be Rack Boys 2.0. Let's get it. Let's get it. Reese said, I believe next season will be the best. You know what? Reese, I'm going to tell you something. I'm going to agree with you on this. Because I think now what we're having, and I've been around the SWAC where it's always been kind of like a two-horse race. It's usually like that, to be honest with you. Sometimes you have a third or fourth team, but very rarely do you have like 4 teams. But I'm telling you right now, FAMU gets it together, which I think you got Jackson State. Depending on what happens with Alabama State, they got Smoot down there. I think that quarterback is going to be good. Prairie View's not going anywhere. I think you could say right off the rip, you're going to have 3 good teams. Hey, Grambling, depending on, what happens with the young man, T-Set, does he come back? And we're praying for him. Hey, man, listen. Hey, Grambling, what y'all doing? Get Mickey Joseph's contract done. Let's go ahead and put that to bed. That man, they pulled out the mud. Like I said, again, I know he lost to Southern, but what you want him to do? All his quarterbacks were down. But he got Grambling. And I'm going to tell you something about Grambling. Like I told people, I've been down to Grambling. Them Grambling alums, those football alums, they going to send football players to Grambling. And one thing about Grambling is quiet gangster. FAMU and Jack State, they loud. FAMU, they quiet gangsters. And that's one thing about it. So they ain't going to sit back there and they ain't going to have all their people all on social media talking this and all back and forth. That G, they just win. That's how the G move. So I'm trying to tell you something. Don't be shocked when that G come back and start knocking people's heads again. And I think Mickey Joseph can get that done. And ain't nothing wrong with being loud. FAMU's loud. That's part of the culture. That's the Florida culture. And Jack State loud because I'm from Jackson. Let me tell you something about people from Jackson. When you from Jackson or you from Mississippi, you got a lot of people talk trash about you. So you know what you do? You prove. You whoop their ass and then you tell them where you from. So I'm never mad about what Jack State people do because I know why they do it. Because they get disrespected a lot when they step out in the street. So there's nothing wrong with them being loud. Just don't be disrespectful. 4 or 5 people that say they down with Jack State. Same thing with FAMU. Just don't be disrespectful. Nothing wrong with being loud. Nothing wrong with being loud. So, I think, again, yeah, and, you're seeing a lot of things. A lot of people learn about Coach Gray's background. Like I say, played in the league, played in Europe. Hey, man, Hall of Famer, FAMU great, knows all the people, understands what the Tallahassee situation is. So that's what it is. Kevin say, see, I tell you what, I'm not going to tell you who that OBC opponent is. I got a good idea. Rather buckle our chin strap up on that one. Tell you one, I don't want to be Howard. I'll buckle our chin strap. And then you know what? Hey, yeah. We gonna do that no matter what. No matter what. And again, this is a different schedule. Southern comes, the FAMU, but we got to go to Alabama State. We got to go to Jackson State. Shout out, hey, President Johnson. Hey, get with Dr. Chip. Hey, the 100 got to be in Jackson. Point blank, period. So let's get that worked out too, right now. AD Suggs, special assistant to the president. Let's get that worked out. So shout out to Jackson State bringing the boom down there. That made that game big, especially for the first half. And I'm going to give the 100 credit. The 100 brought it. So did Jackson State. But the 100 needs that. Because the 100. They need to go up and go on the road and show them folks what we do. So let's get that. Let's get that. Let's get that going. Maybe. I don't know. We'll see. Hey, listen. I can call them that as a projection. I trust Coach Gray to get that receiving crew going and get great quarterbacks to get that offense rolling. So, yeah, I can call it because I saw it. So, no, are they that now? Of course not. But it's the projection that we want. I think you will want that, right, as a projection. So that's what I'm saying. Come on now. They do. They 100% do. Want to see that. Look at folks. You know what? I'm going to tell you something. Tennessee State, they got some things cooking. I think you might have saw that. Matt Leone, North Carolina Central, coming to Tennessee State. That's a big power move right there. Shout out to Coach Barlow on that. Because I'm going to tell you this. They can get that Tennessee State thing going. Those fans are just chomping at the bit to get back right. They just want to chomp at the bit. I mean, and like I said, hey, man, listen, Jackson State, Tennessee State, let's get that home and home going. Because y'all got to play. That's too much history right there. Hey, man, if that man don't want to pay y'all right in that classic, and he found out the value of Jackson State real quick, y'all need to go home and home. Tennessee State and Jackson State need to be home and home every year. That's one of those games that you just got to have. And I know people want Jackson State to play this and that. I'm sorry. Tennessee State and Jackson State, those are big, big games. Those are big, big games. So, you know, I love to see that home and home. Love to see Jackson State go. Because, I mean, it's been a lot of heartbreaks when they used to go up to Nashville. Jackson State had them powerhouse teams, and, man, Big John Mayer would just put it on. Big time. So, love to see that, man. Love to see what FAMU's going to do with their schedule. Like I say, you know, heard some teams. We don't know. We'll see. That'll be released, I'm pretty sure, in January. You know, let's see what you got here. What is it here? Just thought about what do you think about a Quinn and Quinn collaboration? Shout out to my classmate right here, always around knowing football. Hopefully Quinn can get the last goal Simmons aim for, be the FBS team. Yeah. I think that's one of the keys because we haven't done. I don't think we've done that since we beat the University of Miami. To be honest with you, which is weird. You would think that some of the powerhouse teams we've had. I know we played close, but yeah, that would be. You know, like I say, shout out to North Carolina A&T who went on that run. That was a dominant run, and they was whooping everybody. Want to see FAMU get to that level. Want to see that. Yeah, can rock with Tennessee. The OB FAMU doesn't have much luck against historically, but yeah. Tennessee State, man, listen, they were deep in it. They were deep in it. You know, just kind of looking through what you guys are saying in the chat. Let's see, what is Jay? Oh, Jay might be saying, only if our black athletes understood what this country was, come home. Yeah, you know, I'm going to say this, and I'm just honest. Hey, man, listen, all you HBCU that's owed that $1 billion, man, y'all need to do a class action lawsuit. Because, you know, I love Andrew Body. I just hate that Alabama State can't keep him. Because they're not stand for the money. I have no problem with that. But if you gave us our money, maybe we could pay the Andrews of the world. We owe billions of dollars. You know, it was funny. I saw Texas A&M, and they're doing the yelling and all that stuff like that. Do y'all realize Texas A&M that stole $1 billion from Prairie View? What y'all think Prairie View would look like if they had that $1 billion? I don't know how much Texas A&M campus is, like the whole campus, but I'm pretty sure it can't be over $2 billion. I don't believe that campus is $6-7 billion. It can't be. It's not possible. So you just think $1 billion, that's Prairie View's money. That stadium, Kyle Field, was built off of stealing money from Prairie View. This ain't me making this up. This is facts. What do you think Prairie View would look like with that $1 billion? Yeah, that. Tell you what, they'd be able to recruit every player in Texas. They had that $1 billion. What do you think FAMU be able to do with that $1 billion? What do you think Jack State would be able to do? Well, I think they're over $500 million. I know Alcorn is damn near over $1 billion because they got their money stuff from Mississippi State, Tennessee State, Alabama A&M, Southern owned $1 billion. What do you think? LSU built their stadium off of Southern's money. Think Marshall Faulk, if he had that $1 billion, he couldn't go recruit every player that he wanted to. See, I don't want y'all to do that. Because see, I was looking at, some of the kids, and nothing wrong, kids going to Illinois State and Montana, it's a couple brothers, Montana State and all that. And do y'all really think that Illinois State got a better education than FAMU or Jackson State or Southern or North Carolina A&T or Tennessee State? Do you think that when their football players graduate that they can call the CEO of a Fortune 500 company like we can? Or everyone in our school, we got some alumni that's big time. But they going to Illinois State. Illinois State might win the damn FCS. And they got a whole bunch of black kids on their team. Them kids need to be playing for us. But you know what? A little bit better facilities. They get them a little bit more money. Because, Illinois State ain't getting a bunch of money. But just enough for that white man to say his ice is cold. But I'll tell you what. They come to FAMU, they would not be the FAMU education. I would put a FAMU education up against Illinois State anytime. A Jack State education against Illinois State anytime. Southern education against Illinois State anytime. And no disrespect to Illinois State, but yeah, disrespect. Because we ain't the same. We're not. But they playing for the national championship in FCS. Illinois State should not be better than FAMU or Jack State or Southern or Ramble. But you know why? Because they get funded. Ice is colder. So, I just want us to see, and this goes, I'm going to say this to the alums. Hey, man, write your Congress people, man. They didn't put y'all all in one little district anyway. So you probably, down there, y'all Texas people down there in Jasmine Crockett, whole district. Or you guys are down there in Jackson, and you know how they do, y'all. Man, you got to fight that fight, man. We got to stop acting like that money. We can't go get that money. And and all these lawyers, what's up with y'all? Y'all can't get that class action lawsuit for those schools and go get that money? I need y'all to stand up on that. Because like I say, we are owed that money. Then, like I say, that money was stolen. And I tell you one thing, it'd be a whole different ballgame. We had that money. That's why I tell Scotty and Blue all the time, you give me my $1 billion. I put FAMU up against anybody. I put Southern up against anybody. Because I'm telling you, when you come to our campus, it's different. It's different. Illinois State ain't got the J-sets. They ain't got the boom. They ain't got the Marching 100. They ain't got the School of Business. They ain't got that. So that's the thing about it. So look, man, I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna tell you guys one thing. I appreciate everybody watching. Shout out to like I say, President Johnson. Again, short and sweet. Great contract. Shout out to Special Assistant Suggs, for really coming in there and understanding, like I say, again, understanding what it means to have quality of people around supporting the president. And that's the biggest thing I always said, no matter what. And I knew this about Angela. Quality is quality. And when you get quality, this is what you get. No noise, no raffle tickets, no complaints. Just progress and progression. So, guys, let you guys go. See you a little bit later. Might be doing a couple of shows. HBCU Coaches Corner tonight. We will have the Savannah State new head coach on. We will. Hey, there you go. Illinois State ranked 122. Listen, exactly. Top 100. There you go. So, HBCU Coaches Corner with the Savannah State head coach. We'll be talking to him. And we're going to be talking about a couple of other things tonight. Looks like I might be on another show talking about Coach Quinn Gray with ONG Strike Zone. So, man, listen, a lot of good things. I want to wish everybody a happy holidays, man. Love each other, man. And listen, man, how about this? Take a break from just talking bad about each other until the new year. You know what I mean? How about you just tell everybody Merry Christmas, not talk about nobody's school, not talk about who didn't go to the Celebration Bowl and all that good stuff, man. How about that? Just like I said, wish everybody a happy holiday and thing like that. So like I said, man, appreciate you guys. Appreciate Florida A&M Board of Trustees. And, man, I'm excited, man. Florida A&M has a new head coach. That is Coach Quinn Gray. Like the stream, and we appreciate y'all, man. Like I say, see y'all later tonight. HBCU Coaches Corner tonight. Thank you.